DeVelva DeWitt, and this here is my kitchen in Colorado City, Texas. No one had ever heard a lick about our town until a few days ago, and that's when my cousin, Mayor Timmy Boyd, made us famous. You know, during our snowstorm, Timmy got himself into a lot of hot water when no one else had any. You know, when our power went out, people called Timmy and they said, "Do your job." Well, he said no. He said, "Sink or swim. It is your choice." He told us he was sick and tired of people looking for handouts, said helping them would have been socialism. And here in Texas, that is a bad word. But that's all behind us now. So let's get cooking. I have something really special planned for you today. I made it nice and easy. Since it's our first time together, we're just getting acquainted, just getting to know who DeVelva is. You know, in Texas, we love our Mexican food. So I thought we'd make some salsas today. Some green salsa, just like Jesus' grandma. I'm not talking about that Jesus, I'm talking about that Jesus. Right over there. That's my yard boy Jesus. And his mama calls him Jesus, but you know, I think that sounds funny, don't you? So I'm just going to call him Jesus. Anyway, he's here helping me right now, doing divine work by holding the camera while we're making our cooking show for NBC.
No, señora, I said it was YouTube.
You, Grant? No, I told you we're just not going to do that right now. We need to practice first, and then we're going to have people come on our show. That's what we're going to do. Okay, well, just never mind. So today, we're going to be cooking with these ingredients over here. You want, Jesus, can you show them what they look like? Please come over here. Show my pretty platter right over here. And so what I have here is I have onion. I have some garlic. This is our cilantro. These here, green tomatoes, we call tomatillos. We're going to use these tomatillos. And over here, we have our chilies. Now in Texas, right, Jesus, over here, look at me, baby. So we have this jalapeno chili. This right here, this is our pepper. And in Texas, we like things that are bigger because things are bigger and better in Texas. That's our state motto. We also have these serrano chilies, but we don't like serrano chilies, you know, because they're not big enough. So we're just not going to deal with that. We're just going to go ahead and get rid of those. We're going to use our jalapeno today. That's what we are going to do. You know, my brother, Dwayne, he's a professor at the University of Houston. He once told me that Texas was part of Mexico, but I told him no. That is not possible. So listen up. When you go to the store, these tomatillos have these husks on them, but you're going to peel off these husks, then they're real sticky underneath, so you're going to wash them. We're going to wash our tomatillos, right? And then when those are all nice and ready, what we're going to do is we're going to find this piece of metal called a comal. In Mexican, they call this a comal. And today we're being authentic. This is what we're going to use. So we're going to put everything on our comal. We're going to start with our tomatillos. Right over there, we're going to put them on the comal. Precious, Precious, I told you I'd feed you when we're done. Precious, you just be quiet. Mama's working now. Mama's working. Okay, so we're going to put our tomatillos here. And then we're going to put on our other ingredients, like our jalapeno chili I told you about, right over here. Now in the middle, it gets a little bit hotter. That's why our tomatillos go in the middle. But then on the rim, it's a little bit cooler. So what we're going to do is put our other ingredients on the rim. And we're going to get some garlic. And what I'm going to do with my garlic is I'm actually going to peel it. And I'm going to take my knife right over here. And Precious Mama is working. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this right now, and I'm going to take off the skin. Okay, well, okay, that's working. Sometimes it doesn't work. You know, we're on TV and we're live, so we're just going to, it's just going to happen or it's not going to happen. So anyway, I'm taking the skin off my garlic right now. Okay, and then once that's done, I'm going to take it, and what I got already, and we're going to put it over here. Now, the other thing we're missing is onions. So we want half of our onion, and we're going to use a white onion because in Mexican cooking, we always use white onions. That's what we're going to do, and we want it nice and slivered. So when we cut, we're going to take our fingers and we're going to go like this, you know, like you see in those horror movies. That's what we're going to do, is take a claw. And we're going to do this, and then we're going to take our knife, and we're going to go like that, and we're going to do nice thin slivers. This is what we're going to do for our salsa. And so when that's done, we're going to put this on our comal too, and we're going to roast everything. So I'm going to go right back over here. Jesus, come on, sugar. I want you to follow me so people can show. Now this is my stove, and you're like, DeVelva, how did you get such a pretty stove? And you know what? I got it in the fire sale. You know, when a restaurant has a fire and then everything, you know, you can't use it anymore and you get a lot of insurance money, that's what happened here. I got all cleaned up. My brother DeWitt, since he doesn't have a job, he cleaned the stove for me. Took him like a month, but we got all nice and ready. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this over here. Jesus, are you showing them what my kamal looks like? Show them what it looks like, honey. Okay, so we're gonna let this cook. That's what we're gonna do right now. And so then while this is cooking, come on baby, back over there. I told you back over there. I want this to be my frame. This is my frame. I want people to see my sign. I made that sign by myself. It says Cooking with DeVelva DeWitt. I'm DeVelva DeWitt. Okay, so we're gonna have that cooking. And while we're doing that, we gotta wait a little bit. We gotta wait 7 or 8 minutes, you know, for that to get soft. And so if you're at home and you're probably saying, DeVelva, I don't have any one of those kamals. What am I supposed to do? But you know what? DeVelva has an answer to your question. You just get a tray and you put some aluminum foil on right here, and then you can put everything on here, turn your oven to broil, put it inside, 7, 8 minutes, turn it around. So you have choices. Because DeVelva likes to give people, you know, different choices for different things. And you know what? This is a fancy cooking show, isn't it? I, you know, made the sign myself and I put the foil on. I'm trying to do it like those programs on TV that you see. Okay, so this is what you can do if you need to. Now we're going to get our cilantro ready. This is our cilantro. And so what we're going to do is we're going to chop it up to go into our salsa. Can you hear our tomatillos, all that steam coming out of them? That's exactly what you want to hear. So I'm going to take these really thick stems off, just like that, just get rid of that rail. And then I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do it really, really tight. And this is called chiffonade, and we're going to chop it like this. And you're saying, DeVelva, how did you know that word, chiffonade? It was because I watch cooking too on TV. So we're just going to do this, and we're going to get our cilantro. We're just going to chop up our cilantro. Jesus, are you here? Can people see me chopping? We're just going to chop, 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 chop. And this is our cilantro. We're chopping our cilantro. But you know what? I didn't even have to do that because guess what? I got my cilantro right here. Isn't this funny? I got cilantro, but then I got cilantro because we had it whole and now we have it chopped. So anyway, this is what you can do. This is called TV. I love TV, don't you? Because you can do all these little things and people don't know you're doing them. Okay, well, so that's done. Got everything ready, but this isn't ready yet. We still need a few more minutes. So what I thought we could do is a little exercise because once COVID is over, DeVelva is going to go out there and get herself a man. I've been in my house for a year now with my 4 cats, and I'd sure like some company. Not that they're not good company. My cats are good company, but you know, maybe someone who doesn't cough up fur balls. That would just be so nice because I have to clean it up, and I like to do that. But anyway, so I don't mean to brag, but DeVelva is a certified exercise instructor. You know, I taught Jane Fonda jazzercise when it was all the rage at the Baker Hotel. Those were my glory days. I got to dress up like that woman from Flashdance. So every man in Colorado City would turn their head when DeVelva was walking down the street in her jazzercise outfit. Those were the days. Oh, I miss those days. But anyway, let's go back to our exercising. Now this is pure DeVelva. This is not Jane Fonda. I invented my moves for the kitchen. You know, when you're here working, you got like a few minutes while you're waiting your onion to brown or your tomatoes to cook, and you're just standing around and you're like, well, DeVelva, I should be moving. I should be doing. Well, anyway, this one is called chicken. It's 1 chicken. And it's 2 chicken, and it's a whole chicken. Got that? So we have 1 chicken, and we got 2 chickens, and then we got a whole chicken. Now, this is pure DeVelva. I came up with this when I was eating some spicy wings with my brother DeWayne. That's DeWayne's twin who lives out there in my shed, you know, ever since he lost his job because of COVID. Anyway, so we were eating chicken wings, me and DeWayne, and I said, where's the meat? I don't see any meat DeWayne. I don't know where the meat is, you know? And so then I started thinking, they don't have meat because they're working all the time. They're exercising, right? So if they can exercise, why can't we exercise? You know, we can do the same thing they do. Makes sense, right? Okay. So now what we're going to do over here, we're going to go back to our, come on, Jesus, come with me. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn everything over. See how it's browning? Oh, Lord, I make a mess. I'm always making a mess. And we're going to just turn everything over, and we're going to turn our tomatillos over, And we're gonna turn everything over and do the other side for another 7-8 minutes. Here we go with our garlic, turn our garlic over, got our jalapeno. Everything's going over because this is what we're doing, we're cooking right now. And then we gotta do the other side, 7 or 8 minutes, right? So we got some more time to kill because that's what we're gonna do. Gotta get these onions. Now this technique is called dry roasting because I don't have any oil on here. I know in Texas we like to use our oil, but we're not gonna have any oil on this. This is just to keep nothing else on our comal. There we go, turn it all over. Okay, now we're gonna wait just a little bit longer. Gotta wait till everything is nice and squishy, because you see, it's not squishy yet, it's quite firm, but I want it to be nice and squishy. So there we go, we got this going. Now we're gonna wait a little bit longer. Okay, so Jesus, you can go back over there now, because I thought, maybe I could teach you one more exercise while we're waiting, and that's our squat. So we put this out here, we squat. Okay, that's real good right now. And then we maybe do one more, and that's a squat. There you go. Oh, this is good for our backside. DeVelva's backside, she feels so good already. She feels so sexy. She just can't wait for COVID to end. Okay, looky here. We're done. I got everything ready. Look at my tomatillos. You want to show them this right here? Jesus, over here, baby, over here. These are my tomatillos, and they're all cooked now, right? And you're saying, DeVelva? No, they're not. They're right over here. And I'm saying, no, I got my tomatillos and I'm all done. And you're saying, DeVelva, I see the tomatillos are right over here. And I'm like, no, you don't see anything. Because that's my Kellyanne Conway. You remember that lady who used to work at the White House? She sometimes dressed like a tin soldier, like from the Nutcracker, and that little outfit she wore for inauguration. Well, anyway, she's the one that said we get to have our own set of facts, right? So she called them alternative facts. And basically that means you're saying, DeVelva, they're the tomatillos, and I'm saying, no, you don't see that. This is what they are. Right? Those are my facts. And now we move on. We're done. So, we're going to take our molcajete and we're going to grind, right? So we're going to grind our salsa. Now, this is how Mexicans make their salsa, right? You got to pronounce every syllable, and it's called the molcajete. So together, real slow, molcajete, molcajete. And so we're being authentic today. So this is how we're going to do this. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to grind some of our onions. And once again, I'm going to pretend like this isn't here, and I'm just going to go back over here, right? And you're just not watching me. Go back over here. You're just not watching me. And I'm going to get my onion. And I'm going to get some of my onions. And I'm going to get my garlic. And you know what? I want to make sure. And I'm going to get my chilies and my jalapeno. And I'll just turn that off because we're finished. We don't need that. And I'm going to grind. So I'm going to grind my salsa. This is what I'm doing. I'm grinding my salsa. Good work up here is what we're doing. Okay, now if you're tired of working with your upper body, you can also use your lower body, and this is when we're going to do our hip circles. So we're going to grind to the right, and then we're going to grind to the left. This is our exercising, and what we're doing is we're making a paste. Now, to soften our onion, I'm going to use a little bit of salt and put our salt in, and then we're going to grind, 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 and that's what we're going to do. We're going to get this paste going, right? Now, after you get the paste going, you can put in your tortillas. But before that, you're saying, DeVelva, I don't have one of these molcajetes. What am I supposed to do? And so what DeVelva's going to say is you put everything in your food processor, and you go pulse. And you go pulse, and you go pulse, and you go pulse. Let's say you do that 7-8 times, and then you got your salsa, and it's all ready to go, because we want it nice and chunky. That's why we're grinding like this, nice and chunky. And now comes the fun part. We're going to put on our tomatillos right here. So you saw how squishy they are? They're nice and done, full of that liquid. You see that? You can show them that right there, Jesus. See how that's what we want? Okay. Put them right here, and then we're going to grind. We're going to grind some more. Grinding, it's such a stress reliever. When I was working at Timmy's office, the day of the snowstorm, I told you this earlier. Remember, this is when I was there answering phones to help my cousin Timmy at the office. Well, that was a very, very stressful day. Remember, he told the people of Colorado City to come up with their own plan, for getting water and such, and that's when they didn't like it. And, then they started saying nasty things on the telephone. I'd never heard such language before. But, pretty soon their phone batteries died. And when that happened, that was really for the best, because I didn't want to, talk to them anymore, because Timmy wasn't being very nice that day. So anyway, after that was over, I went home. And what I did is I sat in the dark with my cats. There's Pumpkin, and there's Precious, who you heard earlier, because he's ready for his whiskas. And there's Puddin' and there's Sweet Pea. Well, sitting in the dark for 3 days eating Frosted Flakes wasn't really so bad. It was my patriotic duty, after all, to save us from socialism. When my water ran out, I didn't complain. I just remembered what Cousin Timmy said. He said, get off your ass. But the thing was, I didn't understand him correctly, and I thought he said, use your ass. So I took a bowl, bigger than this, but I had this bowl, and I went outside and I put snow in it. And then I sat on it like that, and it wasn't very comfortable, but you know what? I sat, and what happened is I made water, right? It was just like Jesus was helping me. Not just Jesus over there, but this Jesus over here, Timmy said only the strong will survive, and well, I survived. Okay, now our sauce is almost ready. I got it going here real nice. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna put it in my cilantro. So I'm going to put in a little bit of the cilantro into here, and I'm going to take a spoon and I am going to stir it up, and then we're all done. And we've got this beautiful salsa right here. Oh God, I like good salsa. Do you like good salsa? I did such a good job. This being my first TV show and all. So anyway, while I was thinking, just waiting for you at home to catch up, get your salsa all ready to go, just like DeVelva did, I thought we could do my segment, and it's called DeVelva Wisdom. This is when I'm going to go over some tips to make your life just a little bit easier. My first DeVelva wisdom is use your God-given common sense. Like when I made water. There you go. That's number one. Anyway, I'll tell you number two in a minute. I was hoping my friend Howard Louise would come by and she could help me with number two, but she's not here right now. Howard Louise calls me every single day. We've been best friends since high school. That's when I was a twirler. I don't mean to brag, but I am a third-generation twirler. My mama was a Texas star. If you join me next week with cooking with DeVelva DeWitt, I'll bring out my batons and I'll do a routine for you, because I used to look so good. I had 2 batons. I could do both right here, and I turn around, and I was good back in those days. Those were my glory days, just like Jazzercise was one of my glory days. Anyway, so when I talked to Howard Louise yesterday, she told me that our snowstorm was actually a space attack. That the U.S. Space Force said this. That's what she read on Facebook, because she's always on Facebook. And not that Howard Louise would lie, because she would never do that. That's a sin. But she did tell me this. She also said that Bill Gates was blocking the sun. But I said, isn't weather the Lord's work? So that brings me to my second DeVelva wisdom, and that is ask questions. If something doesn't make sense, just ask questions. That's what I did when I told my brother DeRoy. When he called me and he said there are lizard people in Washington. But I said, DeRoy, if they're really lizard people, they would have, those short flappy necks and they get insects. That's what I told him, because I was also using my God-given common sense, right? Well, anyway, that's our show for today. NBC called me and said we just got to get off now. They want to start with the view. So we're going to go right now. If you want my recipes and my wisdoms, they're on Instagram. I'm going to do Facebook too, just so Howard Louise can see our show. Because I want to be a star and influencer, in my show, Cooking with DeVelva DeWitt. When I was sitting in my house 3 days with my cats in the dark, I was thinking, DeVelva, what do you want to do with your life? And I decided I want to be a star. And It's just never too late. So anyway, here's what you need to know. You can follow DeVelva DeWitt on Twitter. That's at DeVelva DeWitt. You can also find me on Instagram. There I am. And I'm going to do Facebook too, you know, just because that's for Howard Louise. So I'll do Facebook. Well, I'll see you next week here in Sioux City. We're going to make some Texas chili, and then I'm going to put on my Mama's Texas Star outfit, and I'll do a routine for you. I told you I was a twirler, so I'm going to twirl for you next week, right? So I hope you had fun. I want you to come back to my show. You'll get to meet DeWitt next week, but in the meantime, he wrote me a jingle. DeVelva's got her own jingle for a TV show. So anyway, DeWitt can't be with us here right now because we're social distancing. So anyway, I have him sitting out there by the shed, and he's going to sing my jingle for us. Okay, so bye now. I'll see you next week.
Smell something good coming from next door. I can smell something good coming from next door. Well, it's wafting up the nostrils, rising from the floor. I can smell something good coming from next door. I can smell something good coming from next door. DeVelva DeWitt, DeVelva DeWitt, what you got cooking in the kitchen today? DeVelva DeWitt, DeVelva DeWitt, I can't wait for what you gonna show today. Have you got all your hair in place? Have you got that makeup all over your face? All over your face, DeVelva DeWitt. You know, I sure like good cooking.